afternoon, Ms. Vuyiswa Ramakgopa, and we're glad to have you here. This is BRICS Africa channel. And as always, we want to start by saying that congratulations to Gauteng, and congratulations to Gauteng for hosting this 12th anniversary of this great initiative. First, what is the relationship of TEHA and Gauteng in general?
Good afternoon, Prof. It is indeed a pleasure to be with you today, and good afternoon to all the viewers. Gauteng has been the proud host of the TEHA CEO Dialogue, which stands for the European House Ambrosetti, a very esteemed think tank that's based in Europe, in Italy. And we have been a partner to this organization and to this event for the last 12 years as the host province. And naturally, it is a natural fit because this is a platform that is centered on matters of trade, matters of investment, and of course strengthening cooperation and strategic partnership between Italy and South Africa. And also, it's a multilateral platform. We have in attendance representatives from various countries, from a number of different private entities, big companies, some that are listed on the JSE, multinational companies. And Gauteng becomes a natural fit for a conversation and a dialogue of this nature to take place, because indeed we are the economic hub of South Africa, and also, and still I believe, the gateway to trade and investment on the African continent.
You've just, in your last sentence, you explained the role of the Gauteng International Desk. Because my next question would be, why do we need to have an international desk when we already have an international desk from organizational point, from the national, but what you've explained now, you've explained the need for that international desk, but also which pushes me now to the lower percentage of Africa intra-trade. We've seen beautiful numbers on the trade with the EU, trade with Italy, and prognosis for the next 25 years. What can we do to get rid or mitigate the ill effects of intra-African trade?
Well, I think, Prof, it's about now moving from, policies, statements of intent and cooperation agreements into implementation and investment plans. And a big part of that boils down to a few key areas, one of which, of course, is infrastructure investment, because the next wave of growth and regional integration is going to be driven by infrastructure and how we build out our infrastructure network to be able to facilitate that trade. Now, one of the speakers today spoke about the importance of mobility as a concept. So facilitating mobility of people within our continent, mobility of goods, mobility of technology and IP. And all of that also hinges on our ability to invest in infrastructure, be it digital infrastructure, network infrastructure, as well as transport and logistics infrastructure, which is so important. I mean, in the year 2025, for me to leave Johannesburg to get to Dakar, Senegal, where I was late last year, I have to still fly from OR Tambo to Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris and come back via connecting flight to Dakar, Senegal. Now, these are simple problems that we have to resolve, and that boils down to investing in the necessary companies in the aviation infrastructure, as well as road and rail infrastructure to foster regional and interregional trade. So there certainly is a massive opportunity, but it's about practicalizing now and moving to that next level. The other point I wanted to just quickly touch on, and you touched on it briefly, why are we focusing on international relations, in particular in the Gauteng province? This is a portfolio that I currently have the honor to lead this portfolio, but it has not previously been an area that has necessarily required somebody to specifically focus on it. But it actually highlights the increasing importance and the role of subnational government level interaction. And that speaks to being able to cooperate and foster trade at a subnational government level. Gauteng is made up of three metros, which means just given the number of people we have here, the size of the economy, we are the size of many countries. And we need to be able to align and cooperate with metros, other metros on the continent. So we actually play a role of fostering those relations with metros all over the continent, your Nairobis, even Dakar itself, and other metros on the continent, because the majority of Africans by the year 2030 will be located in metros, and that's where the innovation is going to come from. That's of course where a lot of the demand is going to come from, and the growth of the continent is going to come from. So we want to be at the forefront of that.
Excuse me, I smiled because this is the second time today we speak of a journey from OR Tambo to Paris to Senegal.
Is that so?
This is the second time, so I just smiled that they come Senegal.
I didn't hear you the first time, so we are on the same wavelength.
Yes. One of the speakers inside there mentioned something which takes priority whether we are an SME, we are government, a PPP, that is public-private partnership.
Yeah.
How far has Gauteng come on that?
Well, I mean, Gauteng, as I said, by virtue of being, the economic hub, by virtue of being a metropolis, we are what I'd say a first destination for those who are looking for such partnerships and to make such investments. But we still have a lot of work to do in terms of strengthening the governance framework around triple Ps in South Africa in particular, and also making sure that we ourselves are able to leverage the opportunities that exist. We have all the different embassies and consulates that are located here, global development institutions, etc. But what has hampered the process is making sure that we're actually able to get the governance processes and frameworks in place. That being said, it is a massive opportunity that still awaits. And especially when you look at infrastructure and infrastructure financing, we see a massive opportunity for public-private partnerships in infrastructure, in the developing of industrial parks and industrial special economic zones, and as well as investing in human capital, which is something we mustn't underestimate and undermine. Gauteng has a very young population, but also a population that is quite urban. We have a lot of young people who are educated in Gauteng and top academic institutions. So we need to be able to harness all of that. And we think that if we can strengthen the governance and the institutional arrangements, that can really unlock massive capital investment into the province and by extension into the country.
We spoke of the youth. If you were to be given an opportunity right now around TEHA, around the G20, all that is happening around us in Gauteng presently, and taking advantage that why the president of the G20 and the Leaders Summit is 2 days away, what will you say to the youth today?
I would say to all young people that the time is now. Africa is not short of resources, it's not short of talent, it's not short of capabilities, of land, of space. What we need is to really groom the generation of leaders who are going to take this country into the future. And those leaders need to exist across all different areas, from business to civil society, the entrepreneurship and innovation space. We need to take advantage of the new industries also that are coming, your AI, your fintech, and all of these exciting new industries. And young people need to rise to that occasion and be willing to take the lead in driving the development of this continent. And it's not going to be given to us, and I put myself in there because I consider myself also part of the next generation of African leaders. We have to be able to define our agenda, and we have to boldly pursue that agenda to the benefit of our continent and future generations. And I really say to young people, the time is now. Nobody is coming to save us. We have to be the ones we've been waiting for.
In closing remarks, in TEHA's 12th anniversary, with the impetus of the G20, what is the signage that you find there, and what would we hope for if we were to have a resolution today or in this TEHA that resolution to impact the G20, what will be
Yeah.
that resolution?
Look, I think G20 is an important platform because it obviously sets the global agenda as far as the three thematic areas that have been outlined. However, a platform like this TEHA CEO dialogue, I would say, takes it one step further, and it takes it into the realm of practicality.
Of implementation.
Of implementation. So there are a number of companies that are involved in this forum. There are a number of companies that are ready to trade, ready to do business, and actually saying we want to focus on youth development, be it through business process outsourcing, be it through infrastructure development, like I said, tech opportunities, etc. So we're really hoping that the G20 becomes the platform from which we can really build on the African development agenda and take it to the next level. And it can also highlight and showcase what we have to offer. You know, there's many people who still have that false perception that Africa is just a dark continent. It is just a site of devastation. It is only a place where you can come and give charity and charitable donations. But what this G20 does is it profiles the continent, I'd say, in a different way. The world leaders are here. The eyes of the world are on us right now. And it's up to us to show up and show out and make sure that people understand that the African agenda is firmly on the table and the African era of development is firmly underway.
MEC, Ms. Vuyiswa Ramakgopa, thank you very much for having you and for enlightening us.
Thank you, Prof.
Moment.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.